Hi, this is Jana Whitley. I'm the author of Cuddly, Cacti, Crochet, crochet pattern book, and I'm going to be continuing my series on how to make the moon cactus. In part 1, I showed you how to do the moon part and the stalk part, and so far you've got these two pieces. And in this segment, I will do the pot and the soil, and see if, then we'll put the face on and assemble it all together. So let's get started with pot and soil. You'll need your rust-colored yarn. I've rolled mine into a ball, and I've got my 3.5mm hook. This is the kit hook. I'm going to be using my clover hook with a comfort grip. And I've got my scissors, I've got my little eyes and floss and needle for the face. Also, I will need a little bit of stuffing, and I'll need some dark yarn. So I've got the stuffing from the kit, and I need the brown yarn, and there it is right there. Okay, alright, so I'm going to put my little ball of yarn in this bowl so it won't roll away. Alright, so just like in the previous video, we'll start with a slip knot. You can also start with a magic loop if you are familiar with magic loop, but that's a more advanced technique which will not be covered in these videos. So a slip knot, again, you're going to hold the tail end with your non-dominant hand. With the working yarn, you're going to loop it over on top so it crosses over on top, and then you can hold that, pinch it while you grab your hook, and I like to, with my other fingers, kind of bring up the working yarn behind so it looks kind of like a pretzel, and then reach through the loop with your hook, grab that working yarn, pull it through the loop while you're holding the tail, then pull it through. Now I'm going to hold the working yarn and the tail tightly, and it's going to cinch up that knot, and there's my slip knot. Now I'm going to pull my working yarn and so that it's snug on the hook, and for my chain stitch, I'm going to, in the previous video I talked about how to hold the yarn with your non-dominant hand and to tension and feed it out in increments to your hook. So if you need a review on that, go ahead and you can watch part 1 again of the Moon Cactus series. Okay, so the chain, you're going to yarn over, and this is my method for yarning over. I swing the hook under, and then I pull it through. So there's 1, 2. Okay, and now we're going to single crochet 6 in the second chain from the hook. So I'm going to insert the hook into that second chain, which is actually the one that's closest to the slip knot, and reverse single crochet. You're going to yarn over once, pull it through just the chain, so you have 2 loops on the hook, and then to finish the single crochet, yarn over again, pull it through both loops on the hook. Okay, that's the first single crochet. And we're going to make the rest of them in that same chain, so we're going to keep going in, inserting the hook into that chain that's by the slip knot. Okay, and then just to make more single crochets, so that we'll have a total of 6. Let's see, and if you lose count, what you can do is pull your hook out. I like to pull my hook out, and the working loop is 0, you don't count that, and then the next one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then there's a slip, there's the end. So where is it? Hang on. Yeah, that's, sometimes it's hard to tell when you get kind of a little funny bump there at the end, but yeah, that's just 5, so we need to do 1 more, and there we are. So there's 6. It makes a nice circle. Looks like a little donut. Okay, well now we need a stitch marker to mark the end of the round. I'm going to cut off about 3 inches of this darker yarn, and I like to just lay it across the last stitch in the round and then pinch it in place until I make the next stitch. So for this second round, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets in every stitch. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's next one, 1 and 2. So similar to when we made the green plant part, when we started that, the first couple rows, it's the same thing. Indeed, in most of amigurumis, we'll always start with a round of 6 and then a round of 12 if it's in making kind of regular round shapes. Okay, and okay, I'm going to count, make sure I've got 12. And you'll notice it's kind of a seashell, or it kind of looks like a spiral shell shape, because we're not going to join our rounds. We're just, and that's why we need that stitch marker, is because we continue. So we don't, if we were to join the rounds, it would leave a visible line going up the work, and we don't want that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. This last one is 12 right there. And that's the one we'll be going into next. So let's move the stitch marker up, and we're going to, for the next few rows, we'll be just doing regular increases where we are adding 6 stitches to each round. So let's make the next one. It's going to be 2 single crochet in the next one, and then in the next stitch we're just doing 1 single crochet, and then we're going to repeat that pattern by doing 2 single crochet in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next, and then repeat again, 2 single crochet in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next, and then repeat. And this way we will have 18 stitches when we're done. And if you forget, if you say, oh, you know what, was I supposed to put 2 in the hole? I can't remember. You can kind of stretch and look and see and say, oh, look, okay, this one's got 2 in it, this one's got 1 in it, so my next one will have 2 in it. And so here we are, we're back to the end of we're at the end of the round. All right, and let's count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, let's move that stitch marker up. We're going to do next round, we're going to do, we want a total of 24, so we're adding another 6, and we're going to do that regularly by doing an increase in the next one. We're going to put, in other words, we're putting 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and then going 1 single crochet, next stitch 1 single crochet. So we've got 4 in the pattern in the 3 stitches beneath it. So we repeat the pattern by going 2 single crochets in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the next, and 1 single crochet in the next, and then repeat the pattern. So we go increase, and then a single, and then a single, and then a repeat with an increase, and a single, and a single. And I'm going a little bit faster in this video because in part 1 I covered it to, I went over it a little more slowly. So if you've gone this far through my videos, you've probably had a little bit of practice already. You're doing these regular rounds with the increases. All right, so to finish off with the last pattern, we got the increase, and then single, and then single, and then we're back at the beginning. let's count them up. It should be 24. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Very good. Now, if you get to the end, you find you have too few or too many, I would recommend either looking and seeing where your mistake is, or just ripping it back to the stitch marker and doing the whole round again, just counting carefully as you go with the pattern. Sometimes it's easier to repeat the whole round than it is to try to find the mistake. But it's best to do it, to always count every round. That way you won't have to rip back more than one round. Okay, so next we're going to do, we want 30 in the next. So what we're going to do is do an increase, and then 1, 2, 3. All right, and then repeat that pattern of increase, and 1, 2, 3, and increase, and 1, 2, 3, and increase, and 1, 2, 3. Oops, let's see, split the yarn there. Oh, and also I forgot to mention this in this video. In the previous videos, I talked about going under both loops. So again, it's important that you always go under both loops of the stitch, rather than, unless it's indicated in the pattern. If in the pattern, if I say back loops only or front loops only, that's when you grab just one loop. But if I do not specify back loops only or front loops only, that means you are meant to go into both loops. Okay, let's see where we're at. This one's an increase, and then 1, 2, 3, and then an increase, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's count them up. So there's of course there's our working loop, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30, that's our last one right there. That's the next one we're going to work into. Okay, and we're going to have 36 in the next round. So we are going to do an increase in the next, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase in the next one to repeat the pattern. So increase, and 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and increase, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and there we are back at our stitch marker. All right, let's count them up again, and you'll notice now at this point you'll probably once you get to about 6 rounds of regular increases of 6, it's should be flat But it will have these corners on it because you're stacking the increases at regular intervals, so it kind of forms a hexagon. But that's okay because once we stuff it, it'll even out those corners into a circle shape. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. There's our last stitch right there. That's the one we're working into next. Now we've done those regular increases, and it's time to do something a little different. We are going to in the pot and soil section on let's see, we're going to be on round 7 in back loops only, single crochet in each, single crochet around, for a total of 36 stitches. So back loops only. Remember I mentioned about going how most of the time you're going to be working in both loops, right? So this is one of those special times where you're only going to insert your hook in the back loop to make your stitch. So this is, again, this is the front loop, and this is the back loop. And make sure you've got the right side facing you. This is the right side, and this is the wrong side. You can tell the wrong side because you'll see the little cross bands, the little horizontal crossbars on top of the stitches. So we're going to go in the back loops only. By what you do, instead of inserting under both loops, you're going to put the head of the hook right in the little V, and then push it towards the back. Grab your yarn, pull it through two loops on the hook, and then finish your single crochet. So there's one. Go to the next one. You go back loop only. There's 2, and then just keep working those back loops. And the reason we're doing this is because by working in the back loops, it's going to leave these leftover front loops. That's going to be the edge of the bottom of the pot, and it makes it easier so that these stitches will want it to turn a corner to make the edge of the pot. So we're just going to work in here, and we're not doing any increasing, just a single crochet in each stitch, being careful not to miss any. So yeah, I'm just continuing to work in each front loop. So one of the reasons why it's important to know the difference between the right side of and the wrong side of your stitches is because when you're working in front loops and back loops, you don't want to get the work inside out, especially when it gets to the part of adding the soil, because otherwise it's going to get, it's just not going to work out if you're working on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so I'll come back to the beginning where my stitch marker is. So go ahead and count. I'm going to skip that step for time's sake, but you'll want to count your stitches, make sure you have 36, and then move your stitch marker up, and the next round is going to be 8 through 10. So you're going to make 3 rounds in both loops, and then single crochet in each round. So this is the easy part where you don't have to really count or anything. You're just going to make a single crochet in both loops like so, and that's going to form the sides of the pot, the straight sides. So if you look at this, so that's what we're going to do. So what I'll do for time's sake, so you don't have to watch me do this boring part, I'm just going to finish that, and then I will turn it back on, or I'll resume the video when I get finished with round 10. Okay, so I've finished those 3 rounds, and so now I am on round 11, and it has a pattern, a repeating pattern, to single crochet 2 in the next single crochet, and then single crochet in the next 5 single crochet. Repeat 6 times. This will give us 42 stitches. So just like before, we're gonna do an increase first, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that. So increase by doing 2 single crochet in the same stitch, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, and just repeat that. So I will get to the end of the round. All right, so now I've just finished round 11. I've made 42 round. I'm going to do round 12. And this one we're going to be doing back post single crochet. And that's a new stitch for this series. And this is how it's going to look. What we're going to do is going to go in the next stitch, and instead of coming in from this direction like you normally would under both loops, you'll come from the other side, kind of backwards, and you go under both loops, and then you're going to kind of bend the hook around the post of that stitch, which is, if you look right in there, you can see there's a post, and then you're going to put the head of the hook underneath both loops of the next single crochet right there. Now you've got this post on the back of your hook there. Now I'm going to yarn over, and I'm just going to pull it through that post, and now I've got 2 on the hook. Now I'm going to yarn over again, and there it is. So for the next back post single crochet, I'm going to go under this stitch here and go under the next post there, and then single crochet, and then again we're going to go under this V here, and then bend and go to the next V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Okay, did I do that right? Yeah, okay. It's kind of an awkward little stitch, and it's kind of hard to see where it's so small, but as I do it, what's going to happen is I'm going to have the newest row. You see there's my new V's, right? But what it's going to do is the previous row is going to turn these V's. It's going to kind of turn them on their side, so they're facing outward. So right now I've got 2 sets of V's. Okay, whew. Okay, that's a toughie. If you need more help with the back post single crochet, you can look on YouTube. You can do a search for BPSC and get some more comprehensive tutorials on that, because it's kind of a tricky one to understand. Oopsie. Okay, so what that's going to do is create kind of a nice little border around the edge of the upper edge of the pot, like so. So here's where we started, and then it's going to create that edge. So I'm just going to keep going around. And for me, it helps if I put my thumb in my left hand, I put it right below those stitches, and then I put my other finger here to kind of hold it in place, and then I put the hook here, and then I bend it and put it through the next stitch. So there's that post, and I grab that yarn over, pull through just the post, yarn over, pull it through, and there's the new single crochet. And again, I go through the next stitch, and then go. And make sure you don't skip any stitches. Like for example here, I don't want to go in this bit, right? I want to go into that bit. So again, it's kind of hard because it looks like I've already gone in there, but I haven't, because I'm crocheting around those posts. I'm not crocheting around the loops like I was before. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this and then continue, because this is kind of lengthy, repetitive work. Okay, so now I've finished round 13 or round 12. I did the back post single crochet, and this is what it looks like. You've got the previous round 11 has been kind of turned outwards, the V's facing out, and then around 12 you'll see the V's on top, and there's 42 around. Okay, so at the end of round 12 we need to slip stitch to join the round. So what I'm going to do is slip stitch in the next so slip stitch is what we do is you go under both loops, you yarn over, pull through both the stitch and the working loop, and there's our slip stitch to kind of smooth out that transition. So that's kind of a joined round. Now we're going to chain 2. So 1 chain and 2 chains, and then we're turning, which means we're flopping the work so that now the working loop is furthest away from us. Okay, and then we're going to be working in this direction here. And so for round 13, we're going to go in the back loops of, so these loops here. So normally we would be going under both loops. We're just going to grab, starting with this, don't go in the chain, but go in that single crochet. And we're also going to be doing half double crochet. And this is how this goes. We do half double crochet, HDC, we're going to yarn over first, then insert that hook in that back loop, and then we're going to yarn over again, and now we're going to pull through all 3. Oopsie. Oof, that's a stubborn bit. Hang on, let's try that again. Okay, so that makes a kind of a, it's kind of a single crochet with an extra bump on top. Let me try that again. We're going to go yarn over, go through that back loop, yarn over again. This is it. So yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through. Yeah. So yarn over, go through the back loop, yarn over, pull through just the stitch, then yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so see how it looks like a single crochet with an extra little crossbar on top, well, kind of a slanted bar like that before the top of it. Okay, again, yarn over, put it through the back loop, yarn over again, pull through just the stitch, yarn over again, pull through all 3. Okay, half double, another half double. So you're just going to go do that all the way around. So what that's going to look like, the reason why we're doing this funny little stitch is because it's going to leave these front loops, or I'm sorry, it's going to leave these loops, yeah, it is front loops at this point, even though it's on the inside or the wrong side. It's going to leave these loops on the inside of the pot, and that's where we're going to use the brown yarn to hook on to make the soil. And then if you look at the outside, it's creating this lip with kind of a nice little design for the top rim of the pot. So let's keep making those half double crochets into the back loops, going kind of the wrong direction, and it's going to leave this step up, and I'll show you how to fasten off when we get there. Okay, so this is kind of slow going, so I think I'll spare you guys and I will pause and then skip ahead to the end. Okay, so I finished these half double crochets around, going in the wrong direction, leaving the front loops of the previous round visible, so that we're gonna work into those in the next round. So here I am, I'm at the end. So in order to join this, I'm going to find that second chain. Remember we chained 2 here. Then we started single crocheting. So find that first single crochet right there, go under both loops, like so. We're going to slip stitch to join, so grab yarn over and then just pull through both the stitch and the working loop, like so, to join. And then it says IFO, that means invisible fasten off. So I'm going to give it about 6 inches here. Cut the yarn, and then you're going to pull that working loop out. All right, now I'm going to show you how to do the invisible fasten off with a needle. So what I'm going to do is put that tail on the needle, and going to looking at the outside of the bowl. So here's that last working loop, and here's the tail. So what I want to do is there's the next stitch here, this next B. I want to skip that one and go to this one, and I'm going to go just like I'm crocheting. I'm going to go under both of those loops with my needle and pull that through, and don't pull it super tight. Pull it just so it's the same length as the stitches around it. Now you want to go back in see that working loop there where the tail is emerging. You want to go back into that center of that V and then come out like so. So what that does is it makes a V. It's like an imitation crochet stitch where it's going out and then under and then back in. And now for this little tail here, on the inside of the work, we're going to just weave it through some of these stitches down here to kind of hide it. So I'm just going to go back through some of this, and make sure it's not showing on the right side of the pot. So I'll just pull it through an inch or two, and don't pull it super tight because you don't want to pucker up the work. Okay, so just leave it like that, and then we're gonna trim that little tail. And it doesn't have to be super tight because again it's on the inside where you're not going to see it after we put the stuffing in. So there we go. There's the transition there. It's a little bumpy, but once it stretches out, with the stuffing, it should be a little smoother. I probably could have pulled it just a tad tighter there. So maybe I'll give it a yank, see if I can do that, huh? But that didn't. Yeah, we'll give it a little yank. There we go. Okay, I'll just tuck that in later. So there it is. Okay. Anywho, so let's go on to the next bit. So what we're going to do is gonna grab the dark yarn. And in the remaining loops of round 12, which are these loops in here, we're going to pull up a new loop of brown yarn. Hang on a second. Pull up a new loop of brown yarn in the next single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the next 4, single crochet 2 together. Okay, so this is a bit of a tricky part because we're going to be decreasing. So, and we have to start with the new yarn. So here's what we're going to do. So here's those front loops. We're going to find where you left off, like where the tail is, or the transition, where the invisible fasten off is. So I'm going to I'm going to find that first loop, and there's the first loop right there, that first remaining loop. And let's see which way do I want to do it? Actually, I'm sorry. Oof, my boof. Okay. So I want to work in this direction. So I'm going to turn that lip down, and so that those remaining front loops are kind of popping up at the top, and I'm just going to stretch it out and kind of make sure I've got the right stuff. So I'm going to put my hook there. Now with the brown yarn, I'm going to fold over with about a 4-inch tail, fold over to create a loop, and I'm going to grab that loop, pull that through just a little bit. Now I'm going to chain, holding that in place, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to give that little tail a tug to kind of hold those stitches in place. So I've got my the chain 2. Now I'm going to single crochet in the next 4. So I'm going to go in that remaining front loop. I'm going to put my hook through there, and I'm going to grab the yarn, pull through, and make a single crochet. So there's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now here's where we're decreasing, and this is a new stitch. It says SC2TOG means single crochet 2 together. And this is how it works. We're gonna go, you're gonna put your yarn in the loop, you're gonna yarn over and pull through. Now what you're gonna do is go into the next loop, insert your hook in there, yarn over and pull through again. So you've got the working loop and then 2 yarn overs that are spread over 2 stitches, right? And now you're gonna yarn over, pull through all 3. So that what that does is take 2 stitches and pinch them into 1 stitch. So that's a way to decrease. So again, now we are going to, the next part, we are going to do a pattern where we go 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we single crochet 2 together again. So you go under the next loop, yarn over, pull through, go under the next loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet 2 together. So see, again, I'm rolling that lip over so I can easily grab those loops, and then yarn over and pull through, go to the next one, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through all 3, and then repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet 2 together by going under the next, pull through, under the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through all 3. Now we're getting, we still got a ways to go. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet 2 together, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then for the last one, we're going to single crochet those last 2 together. So 1 and 2. All right, so here's what we've done. So there's our pot, and the last round of brown creates kind of the edge there, and then we're going to keep going around and decreasing to make the soil bit. And so now what we've got to do is kind of continue on through there around the brown, but first we're going to count, make sure we've got, I'm pretty sure we've got the right amount, but let's count. We should have a total of 36 stitches because we've just reduced by 6. So we did have 42, and we're going down to 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So here's where we want to go through next. That little chain bit right there. Boom. Yeah. Okay, so alrighty, I'm going to put my little, I'm going to switch colors on my, actually I think I'll get a different color altogether. Something a little more different for my stitch marker. Okay. Alright, so I don't get any of these other scraps confused. Now, I'm going to cinch up that one there. Now, for this next round, which is going to be round 15, I'm going to single crochet in the chain 2 space, single crochet the next 3, decrease. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to go, so here's the first chain. I'm going to go in that, grab that second chain, go in there, and single crochet, and then I'm going to go in that next V. Hope you can see with that dark yarn, and then single crochet there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so far I've got 4. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4 from the beginning of the round. Now, I'm going to decrease. Now, notice it says DEC instead of single crochet 2 together. And the reason I do that is because this is where you can use, because I've got both loops, I can do a invisible decrease, which is my favorite way to decrease because it does not show up. That's why it's called invisible. So, and the way you do that is you're going to go under just the front loop of the next stitch, and you're going to give it a little, just the head of that hook is popping through, and then you're going to twist it around and then go through the front loop only of the next stitch. So now I've got 2 front loops on that hook, see? So I see how those are 2 front loops. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through just the front loops, yeah? So now you've got 2 in the hook, and now you're going to yarn over again and finish that single crochet, and that is called your invisible decrease. And you can see it's got the little V with a little tiny bit extra underneath, but it's very hard to distinguish it from the surrounding single crochets. Now, the next stitch is going to be in this one here. So we want to make sure not to go accidentally in this bit or this bit. We want to go in this bit next. So we are going to single crochet in the next 4 and then decrease again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to decrease. Now, sorry about the dark brown yarn because it's kind of hard to see, but let's do our best. Okay, so again, we're going to go in this front loop. So this is the next stitch where normally we go through both loops, right? Let's see if we can again get that in focus. But for invisible decrease, we're going to go through, put that little head, pop it just through the front loop, twist and swing it down, and then swing it back up through the next stitch front loop. So we got 2 front loops on the hook. And remember, when you're invisible decreasing, make sure you're pulling with this hand. You're going to be make sure the tension is extra tight for invisible decreases, because otherwise the tension of the stitches is going to want to stretch them out, and then they're going to look odd. So pull it through, and yarn over and pull through again. Okay, next stitch is going to be in here, in both loops, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease. Okay, and so front loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again in decrease, invisible decrease, yarn front loop, next front loop, yarn over, keeping it tight. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, and remember I've got my left middle finger under here kind of supporting this, so sorry, 4, and then a decrease. Okay, and we're getting close here to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last 2, we're going to do invisible decrease. So again, front loop, twist, front loop, catch those 2 front loops. And we're going to be keeping this tight, yarn over, pull through just the first 2. And we have 2 on the hook, yarn over again, pull through those 2. Alright, so this is how it's looking. It's starting to close that hole up. Now you might, this is a little fussy, and you might say, Jana, you know what, I don't want to do these decreases and it's looking weird and I'd rather do it a different way. So what you can do, if you'd rather just sew on a circle to those front loops, you can certainly do that by taking your brown yarn and working the first 6, is it for the first 5 rounds of this pot and sew pattern again. So you do rounds 1 through 5, or sorry, rounds 1 through 6, so that you have 36 around. So it looks just like the bottom, right? So you can make a brown bottom, and then take your needle and then just sew it to those loops. And you know, maybe in hindsight, I would have designed my pattern that way to make it easier instead of doing this weird tricky way. But I'm kind of get lazy when it comes to sewing pieces together, and I think, you know, why sew when you can crochet? So but it is an alternative if you'd rather do it that way. Okay, so let's count some stitches, make sure we got the right stitch count. So here we go. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27, 28, 29, get that out of the way, 30, okay, whew, we got it. All right, so move that stitch marker up. So we're going to go down again by 6, so we should have 24 in the next. So we're going to single crochet in the next 3, and then decrease, and repeat 6 times. So here we go. Let's make sure we got the right stitches. It's kind of hard in this dark stuff, but there's the one right there, right there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and an invisible decrease, and a 1, 2, 3, an invisible decrease, and 1, 2, oops, and 3, invisible decrease, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and an invisible decrease, 1, 2, 3, invisible decrease. Are you bored yet? 1, 2, 3, invisible decrease. Okay, we're getting down to the last few rows here. Whoopsie, hang on a sec. It's the yarn split on me. Okay, so let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, move that stitch marker up to round 17. Single crochet in the next 2 single crochet, decrease, repeat 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. Okay, so it's going to get smaller and smaller. It's getting faster and faster. Here we go. There's a 1 and a 2 and a decrease. And the hole is getting smaller on me. So I'm kind of having to stick my fingers in there. 1 and a 2 and a decrease. And a 1 and a 2 and a decrease. Oh, wait, let's see. Oh, it's getting small. 1, 2, decrease, and 1, 2, decrease, and a 1, and a 2, and a decrease. There we are. Oops, split there on the last one again. Okay, decrease and count. Count, bond, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to make his face. Oh boy. We're going to insert the 6mm eyes about 4 single crochet apart and 2 rounds down from the lip of the pot. Attach the safety back to the eyes with needle and black embroidery floss. Make mouth with fly stitch in between the eyes. Stuff to medium firmness but not bulging. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So here's where I left off with my, or here's where the invisible fasten off is, right? So there's just the tiniest bit of little transition, like from here to here, there's a little jog, right? From the bottom, and there's a little bit of a jog there. So I want this to be the back, and you're going to put the face in the front. Well, this is going to get that fuzz off. Okay, so grab these plastic eyes. And I love these. I love little shiny plastic eyes. Because they're shiny, the light glints off them, gives them that wet look. Because, like, you know, people's eyeballs, well, people and animals, their eyeballs are always wet. And they're alive, and it gives them that living sparkle. So if you ever have eyes that are dull, and don't have that highlight, the light glinting, it makes you look kind of creepy and dead because, well, you expect for a living eyeball to be wet. How's that? For an explanation of cuteness. Okay, so I'm going to put it about right there, maybe about, I don't know how many stitches apart should I do. This one is about, let's see, 1, 2, about 4 stitches apart. That's generally what I do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll do. You can kind of give it a stretch. It'll be a little bit bigger when it's stuffed. You know, and you know, maybe you can decide if you like it there. You maybe want to move it, but that works. So now you got those eyes in place. So let's put the backing on. So what I do is I turn it a little bit wrong side out. Also, you want to, if it's going to pull through like this one is, see, it just popped right through the fabric. So what you can do, because these are pretty small, here's what you can do to prevent that from happening is when you're putting it through the fabric, look for the stitch. See how you've got this V here? So instead of putting it between stitches, between those V's, I'm going to insert it right, and then post right into that V. So I'm going to take that post and wiggle it down into that V. And that way, it won't escape. So now if I pull on it from the back, it's not coming through. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. I'm going to find a little V to put him through. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put him right there, maybe. So, okay, again, I'm just finding that little V. See that V? Put it between. Okay. And push it through because it's kind of stubborn that way. Okay. Might have to feed it through from the back. Oof. Okay, how's that looking? Take another look. I like to take my time with getting the eyes in because, you know, it really gives the piece a lot of personality, and I mean, it's a shame if you go through all this work and then you end up with a creepy face where you're like, don't like the face. And then the problem is with these, once you get these backings on, if you want to remove them, you pretty much have to destroy the eye, and then you have to get a new one, and they're probably like 50 cents for each pair of eyes. So you don't want to waste them. Okay, so let's pop. So here's how we put it on. See, I'm going to put my thumb here. I'm going to put the washer on top. Let's see if it's a focus. Like so. Okay, we'll see. And try not to get any of the other fabric caught in there underneath it. And then you're going to push that down. Let's see if that's going to work for us. Sometimes it's not very pliant. What we can do, yeah, these guys are, the smaller they are, the harder they are to get on. I usually use the 10mm eyes, but for some other pieces. Okay, so here's what we did. Another piece. I have my bowl, right? So I'm going to use the hard surface of this bowl. I'm going to put the eye down on the hard surface and use all the weight of my upper body to come down. Oh. There, see, it clicked. So now you can see it's on there. And it's not coming off. Okay, phew. Let's do the next one, huh? Alright, so there's that guy. There's the washer. I'm going to put the eye on the top of my bowl. Again, try not to... and maybe in my instructions I should have instructed you to do this before we actually added the brown stuff. So, because right now I have to pull it out of the way, which is just kind of obnoxious. So, sorry about that. Okay, let's get that on there. Okay, so I got a little bit on, and now I'm going to push down. Okay, so there it is, pushing down. Oof, hang on. Oof. Whoa, God. Okay, and I did scuff up the eyes a bit, and that makes me a little sad. Because, plastic can scratch pretty easily. So, in hindsight, maybe I could put, a piece of felt or something there so that I didn't scuff up my eyes. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want the eyes dull, like I said. I want to make it look dead. Alright. Now, whew, hardest part's over. Now we get to make the mouth. So I'm going to take my floss. And I like to lick the end. We're not going to separate these strands. Just leave all 6 strands together. Put it through your needle. Give it about 3 inches of tail to overlap. Alright, and now come through the back side by the washers. And then just find a loop where you can discreetly anchor it. So we're going to come through, leave about 1 inch, and then we're going to go through again to make it like a overhand knot, kind of a half hitch, I guess. Then like so that anchors into place, and you shouldn't be able to see it from the front. That's key. All right, now for the mouth. I like to make the corners of the mouth on level with the eyes. So I'm going to emerge right here in that post. So right there, pull it down like so. All right, so just a little offset. You don't want it right in the center, you want it a little off center. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in over here to make the other corner. So this is one corner of the mouth, and then this is the next corner of the mouth. Now if I wanted it straight, I could just pull it tight, but I don't want it straight, I want a smile. So what I want to do is leave a little bit of a loop like that, okay? Little U shape. And now I'm going to hold that in place with this finger. I'm going to emerge so here's one row, and I'm going to go down a row, and and just in the middle of the next row, so that it kind of holds that stitch. I'm going to come in the center between those two corners of the mouth. Now make sure you catch that loop as you come through, see? And now you pull it a little bit snug so that it creates a V, like so. But now what do you do with this? Well, you're going to go back in just below the loop. Okay, and you're going to go back in like so. And that's going to anchor it nicely. Well, it's going to make that V, just like so. Alright, so now we need to anchor it in the back again. Oh no, you know what? Look at that. It's caught on here. Let's see if we can't. Oh, that's just the tail. That's no big deal. All right, so catch another little piece of yarn and do another overhand or half hitch type of knot. So do a loop and go through the loop once with the needle and pull it snug, and then trim it with about 1 inch, and that's going to be hidden inside. So there's the face. Okay, now we get to stuff it, which is fun. Okay, so here's our stuffing. Okay, and I'll make sure to pull the move the working loop out of the way so it doesn't get inside while you're stuffing it. And then let's start working it in there. Okay, and I'd like to use my finger like a hook and kind of, well, not like a hook, but curling it so that I'm pushing it into the edges and the corners out from the center and creating a hole in the center so that when I'm adding more stuffing, I put it into that hole that I've created. Okay. Okay. Maybe just a titch more. But you don't want it so, do it kind of a medium firmness, because you don't want it, if you do it too full, it's going to bulge like, no, you don't want that. You want it to be able to lay flat on the bottom. Yeah, because in the instructions it says stuff to medium firmness, but not bulging. Okay, and also, now we're going to finish this up. So, let's see, let me pause for a moment.